Vetaha engaged Yoga from the mystic link, Chalita deviated Manasaha, who has such a mind, Aprapya, to Yoga Samsiddhi perfection in mysticism, Kama, which Gatim, destination, Krishna, O Krishna, Gachati, achieves. 6.38 Kachinno bhaya vibrishtash
Kachinno bhaya vibrashtas
Chinnabhram iva nashyati
Chinnabram iva nashyati
Apratishto mahabaho
apratishto mahabaho
Vimudo brahmanapati
vimudo brahmana pati.
Kachid, whether, na, not, ubhaya, both, vibrishtaha, deviated from, chinna, tone, abhram, cloud, iva, like, nashyati, perishes, apratishtaha, without any position, mahabaho, almighty arm Krishna, vimudaha, bewildered, brahmana, of transcendence, pati, on the path. 6.39 एतन्मे संशयं कृष्ण
एतन्मे संशयं कृष्ण
चेतुम् अर्हस्य शेषतः
चेतुम् अर्हस्य शेषतः
त्वदन्यः संशयस्यास्य
त्वदन्य संशयस्यास्य
चेत्था न उपपद्यते
चेत्त्वा न उपपद्यते.
Ether this is me, mine, samshayam, doubt, Krishna, O Krishna, Chetam, to dispel, Arhasi, you are requested, Asheshataha, completely, Tvat, then, you, Anya, other, Samshayasya, of the doubt, Asya, this, Chitta, remover, na, never, he, certainly, Upapadyate, is to be found. This is my doubt, O Krishna, and I ask you to dispel it completely. But for you, no one is to be found who can destroy this doubt. So, in 6.37, Arjuna said, O Krishna, what is the destination of the unsuccessful transcendentalist who in the beginning takes to the process of self-realization with faith, but who later desists due to worldly mindedness and thus does not attain perfection in mysticism? Here Prabhupada explains the basic principle of self-realization is knowledge that the living entity is not this material body, but that he is different from it and that his happiness is in eternal life, bliss and knowledge. These are transcendental, beyond both body and mind. Self-realization is sought by the path of knowledge, by the practice of the eightfold system or by bhakti yoga. So, following in each of these processes, one has to realize the constitutional position of the living entity, his relationship with God, and the activities whereby he can re-establish the lost link and achieve the highest perfectional stage of Krishna consciousness. Following any of the above mentioned three methods, one is sure to reach the supreme goals sooner or later. This was asserted by the Lord in the second chapter. Even a little endeavor or the transcendental path offers a great hope for deliverance. Out of these three methods, the path of Bhakti Yoga is especially suitable for this age because it is the most direct method of God's realization. And also to pursue the transcendental path is more or less to declare war on the illusory energy. Consequently, Whenever a person tries to escape the clutches of illusory energy, she tries to defeat the practitioner by various allurements. A conditioned soul is already allured by the modes of material energy, and there is every chance of being allured again. Even while performing transcendental disciplines, this is called yoga chalita manasaha, deviation from the transcendental path. Arjuna is inquisitive to know the results of the deviation from the path of self-realization. In 6.38, sorry, O mighty armed Krishna, does not such a man who is bewildered from the path of transcendence fall away from both spiritual and material success and perish like a riven cloud with no position in any sphere? So here Prabhupada explains there are two ways to progress, starting with materialists. Those who are materialists have no interest in transcendence. Therefore, they are more interested in material advancement by economic development or in promotion to the higher planets by appropriate work. When one takes to path of transcendence, one has to cease all material activities and sacrifice all form of so-called material happiness. If the aspiring transcendentalist fail, then he apparently loses both ways. In other words, he can enjoy neither material happiness nor spiritual success. He has no position. He is like ribbon cloud. A cloud in the sky sometimes deviates from a small cloud and joins a big one. But if it cannot join a big one, then it is blown away by the wind and becomes a non-entity in the vast sky. The Brahman Patti is the path of transcendental realization through knowing oneself to be spiritual in essence, part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, who is manifested as Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. Also, Lord Krishna is the fullest manifestation of Supreme Absolute Truth, and therefore, one who is surrendered to the Supreme Person is a successful transcendentalist. To reach this goal of life through Brahman and Paramatma, realization takes many, many births. Bahunam Janmanam Ante. Therefore, the supermost path of transcendental realization is Bhakti Yoga or Krishna consciousness, the direct method. 6.39. This is my doubt, O Krishna, and I ask you to dispel it completely. But for you, no one is to be found who can destroy this doubt. Here in the beginning of the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord said that all the living entities existed individually in the past. They exist now in the present and they continue to retain individual identity in the future. Even after liberation from the material entanglement. Krishna is perfect knower of past, present, and future. So he has already cleared up the question of future of the individual living entity. Now Arjuna wants to know of the future of unsuccessful transcendentalist. No one is equal to or above Krishna, and certainly that so-called great sages and philosophers who are at mercy of the material nature cannot equal him. Therefore, the verdict of Krishna is the final and complete answers to all doubts because he knows the past, present, and future perfectly, but no one knows him. Krishna and Krishna consciousness devotees alone can know what is what. Thank you, everyone. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Good job. Nice.
Just read the purports, Mataji. It was self-explanatory.
Do you want to just summarize the 3 verses in a couple of lines?
So in first verses, Krishna, it's explained about self-realization, the Bhakti Yoga, the 9 limbs of Bhakti Yoga, the devotional service. And in the second verse, he describes about the difference between spiritual and material success, how one in material world the happiness of the material world is temporary, but when one surrenders to Krishna, it is permanent. And in the 39 6.39, it's basically said that Krishna he is in the past, present, and future. He knows everything. Just Krishna and Krishna conscious devotees know what is what. And also it is explained here that he is the perfect knower of past, present, and future.
Okay, nice. Would anybody like to add anything? Or did you have any questions for Sanchita Mataji? Okay. Actually, these three verses, like Sanchita just said, they are self-explanatory, very self-explanatory. But even in this, there is, nectar. Arjuna Uvacha. So after listening to Krishna saying, that you have to be disciplined, you have to practice. So abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena. So he said you have to have abhyasa and you have to have vairagya. You have to practice and you have to be detached. That is how you can control your mind. And when you control your mind, that is when you achieve yoga. Yoga means what? Connection with the Supreme. What is your aim, Arjuna? Your aim is to connect with the Supreme. How are you going to do it? You have to control your mind. How do you control your mind? Through practice and through vairagya, detachment. Which means what? You have to have a lot of discipline, is what Krishna is saying. Practice itself means discipline. Practice means it has to be done regularly. Regularly does not mean once a year. I do my mental exercises very regularly. On the 1st of January every year, I set my resolution. And that's it. So, abhyasa means what? It is constant. No, every day, every time. Say, for instance, if our goal is to give up anger, that means you have to be vigilant 24/7. That is not there is no option there. It's 24/7. So when is your abhyas? It is 24/7. 365 days. There is no holiday. There is not a single minute. There's not a second. Because what happens? Anger is like fire. The tiniest spark, boom, it'll blow. So when we talk about abhyasa, it means that there is discipline. There has to be discipline. Otherwise, it's not going to work. And to get to that discipline, you need vairagya. Vairagya means what? Detachment. What does detachment mean? It means in order to achieve this, whatever steps I need to take, I need to take them. If it means giving up stuff I like doing, so be it. If it means giving up people I like hanging out with, so be it, if they are not helping me in the process. If it means doing things which are difficult, painful, physically and mentally, it means I have to do it. That is vairagya. Why? Because the goal is very clear. I want to get rid of my anger. Lust, anger, and greed are the three gates to hell. Oh, no, no, no. That is not where I want to go. So I've got to try and go away from that. And that trying is my abhyas. 24/7, 365. And the Vairagya, do whatever it takes. So what is Arjuna saying? He says, Ayatihi, ayatihi. Yati means someone who is a devotee. Ayatihi means someone who has not become a devotee. However, what happened? Shraddhaya upetaha. He started yoga with a lot of shraddha, with all faith. No, I want to link myself with Bhagavan, so I am doing all this. He started on that process, but he could not complete it. Yoga chalitamanasaha. Yogat, from yoga. Panchami vibhakti. Yogat. Chalitamanasaha. From yoga, his mind has walked away. Why? No discipline. Therefore, no abhyasa, no vairagya. So his mind has wandered away. His mind has deviated. And therefore, what has happened? Aprapya kim yoga samsiddhim. Because of that, he has not achieved. Prapya, prapta means to achieve. Aprapya, having not achieved. What? Yoga samsiddhi. Siddhi means perfection. Samsiddhi means complete perfection. Samyak siddhi. He has not achieved complete perfection, the highest perfection in yoga. Kam gatim gacchati. Hey Krishna. Oh Krishna, where will this person go? Gacchati, going. Where is he going? Kam gatihi. What is his destination? What destination does he reach? So Arjuna is saying, you said you have to practice with discipline, you have to be renounced. That if you're persistent, you will be successful. But then, if somebody doesn't have discipline, somebody doesn't have perseverance, somebody doesn't have renunciation, what will that person do? So, somebody has, Arjuna said, what is the destination of the man of faith who does not persevere, who in the beginning takes to the process of self-realization? Man of faith means he takes to the process of self-realization with faith. Shraddhaya upetai. He came with faith, but who later desists due to worldly mindedness. Mind ran away here, there, got himself a girlfriend, decided, nah, this is not for me, walked away. And what happened? And thus does not attain perfection in mysticism. What then happens? So here, like Mataji just said, Prabhupada talks about how Bhakti Yoga is the best way to stay on the path. And here Prabhupada has actually preempted the Lord a little bit. Because Krishna gives this answer a little later. Especially in the last verse of this chapter. It says, Yoginam api sarvesham madgatenantara atmana. So one who focuses on me is the best yogi. And then Here, Prabhupada says, to pursue the transcendental path is more or less to declare war on the illusory energy, Maya. Consequently, whenever a person tries to escape the clutches of the illusory energy, she tries to defeat the practitioner by various allurements. That is when whatever you never thought about earlier all becomes very, very attractive. If till then you have never watched a movie in your life, why? Because you were too busy having fun with your friends. But now, all of a sudden, every movie, if you don't watch it, you're missing out something in life. Why? Because you decided you're going to go on this path, so you gave up those friends. But then now something else comes up. So the mind is always looking for something to hook onto till it gets the higher taste. So in the next verse, Arjuna builds on this. Now in this first verse, he calls Krishna by his name. He says, "Hey Krishna." Oh Krishna, I actually have this doubt. And then he continues. In the second verse, he calls him Mahabaho. He says, Kachinno bhaya vibrashthas, chinnabhram iva nashyati, apratishto mahabaho, vimudho brahmana pathi. Kachin na ubhaya. Ubhaya means two, both. Vibhrashtaha. So someone who has deviated, vibhrashtaha, from both ubhaya. What ubhaya, what two have they deviated from? What is the two paths he's talking about? He says, does Kachin, whether, my question to you, O Mahabaho, is whether such a person, Chinna Abhram, like a cloud that is broken away, even Nashyati, does he get destroyed like that? Sometimes there's a big cloud and a small piece of it kind of goes away and then you suddenly see it's disappeared. Why? Because it has left the big cloud. So the same way, when we walk away from Krishna, we lose our power. He is the powerhouse. Prabhupada gives this example. He's the powerhouse. How can a bulb get any light? This bulb gives so much light. But how is the bulb giving that light? Because it is connected to that powerhouse. If it was not connected, there would be no light. So it's the same with all of us. Each one of us is a gem. We all have such wonderful qualities. Every human being, every living entity does. But we are not able to realize those qualities. We are not able to successfully manifest those qualities. Why? Because we are not connected to the powerhouse. So the same way Arjuna is saying, so, oh Krishna, when a small piece of cloud, kind of wanders away from the large piece, it just disappears. Nashyati, it's lost. It's completely destroyed. Why? Apratishtaha, it has no foundation. It has no position. So what foundation? What position? It has no discipline. So this person who falls away from these paths, we'll come back to which two paths, okay? Because he has no foundation, he has no discipline in life. Vimudaha, he is bewildered. He's bewildered. And that is why he falls away from Brahmana Pathi, from the path of Brahman. He was happily going down that path. He decided this is the path for me. He started off very nicely on it, but he didn't go anywhere. He just took a diversion and then he got lost. Now oh Krishna, is he not completely lost because he has not taken either of the two paths? Which two paths? Which are the two paths?
Material and spiritual.
Beautiful. Material and spiritual. Karma and yoga. He did not take karma because he decided, I am going down on this path. I am going to catch Krishna and I'm going to go here. I'm going to do bhakti. So he did not do karma. Karma means what? Following all the rituals in the Vedas. Every day do this Agnishtama Homa, do this Homa, do that Homa, do this puja. All this you're supposed to do. If you did all that, you can go to Swarga, or you can go to Pitru Loka, or you can go beyond Swarga. These are all the paths. That's one. The second path, direct path to Krishna. I do bhakti, I focus meditation on the Lord. But this man, he did neither of those. Oh Krishna, where is he going to go? He's going to go to hell. Because he did not do the karma and he did not do the bhakti. He is nashyati. He is destroyed. Is he not destroyed? And here he calls him Mahabaho. He says, you are so strong. I know I'm missing something. Because you are Mahabaho, you always protect your devotees. You have such strong arms. You always protect your devotees. Which means if somebody comes on this path, you shouldn't be letting them fall away. You shouldn't be letting them get destroyed. I'm missing something here, Krishna. In my mind, there is this doubt that they are going to get destroyed. But you are Mahabaho, so I'm not able to reconcile these two views in my head. You're also Mahabaho because you have a lot of patience. I'm asking you so many questions. You're not going to get angry with me. I know that. And then he finally concludes his question. He says, Etan me samshayam Krishna chittum arhasya sheshatah tvad anyaha samshayasya asya cheta na hi upapadyate. Etat mama samshayam. Hey Krishna, etat mama samshayam. This is my doubt. Etat, this is my doubt. Chettum arhasi. You should destroy this doubt of mine. Asheshatah, completely. Tvad anyaha asya samshayasya cheta. Other than you, the person who can destroy this doubt of mine, nahi upapadyate, is not to be found. So much confidence. And here he calls him what? Again, he calls him Krishna. Why? Because Krishna is the name of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishna is the name of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishna knows everything. Krishna, how does he know everything? Because he sits in everyone's heart as Paramatma. He is the knower of the past, the present, and the future as Paramatma. Therefore, O Krishna, this kind of doubt, what happens to someone in their next life, only you can know. Past, present, and future. In the past, people might have fallen away. What happened to them? Only you will know. Now also, some people may be on the path, some people may be falling off the path. What is going to happen to them? You only know. In future also, it's going to happen. Only you can know, O Krishna. Why? Because you are sitting in everyone's heart. You are Paramatma. You have all knowledge. The Paramatma feature of the Lord is the Chit feature. Sat, Chit, Ananda. Remember? Sat means what? Sat, eternal. Eternal. Sat. Chit, knowledge. And Ananda,
Bliss.
bliss. So eternality, knowledge, and bliss. The Brahman feature is Sat. Paramatma feature is Sat and Chit. Bhagavan feature is Sat, Chit, Ananda. So, as Paramatma, you are Sat and Chit. Chit means knowledge. You have all knowledge as Paramatma. So, O Krishna, Tvadanyaha nahi upapadyate. Tvadanyaha. Tumse alag, other than you. There is no one available who can destroy this doubt of mine. Okay. And that is that. Today's class is really, really short. But these verses, even though they are so small, I really enjoyed going through them and thinking about them. They're just so beautiful. It shows Arjuna's compassion. It shows what a kind-hearted person he actually is. He's so concerned. People start, but I know people can't carry it forward. What will happen to them? It's very nice of you to say, Krishna, that you should do this, you should do that, but I know I have done it and I know how difficult it is. And I am a special person. I know that as well. Others are not so special. The normal people, how are they ever going to achieve all this? What will happen to them if they don't follow through in their discipline? So kind-hearted. So any questions, any comments? Okay. Okay. Then what we'll do is we'll pause here for today. And we'll take Lord Krishna's response next week when Aditya Prabhu is back.